Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a poem on his having arrived at the age of 23, written by John Milton. And this is in response to the subscribers' request. I think, Ravi, hope you are listening to it and hope you are watching the video. Before I begin the video tutorial of today's poem, I would like to inform you that I have prepared some of the video lessons for the degree first SEM students. So in the bazaars of Hyderabad is there, and then the eyes are not here, and then English exam mock question paper is there, then comprehension questions from unit 1, the eyes are not here, and then the degree first sem English section A grammar items. It's an English, it's a complete guidance with explanation. So links are provided in the description box. Please check. Now, moving on to today's video, that is on his having arrived at the age of 23, written by John Milton. If you look at the poem, it comprises of 14 lines, and when a poem has 14 lines, it is called as a sonnet. And John Milton is very popular in writing different genres of sonnets. And this is a very interesting sonnet we are going to discuss now. I'll just give a reading, one reading, so that you know we will get a little bit of uh, summary of this poem. How soon hath time, the subtle thief of youth, stolen on his wing my 3 and 20th year? My hasting days fly on with full career, but my late spring no bud or blossom showeth. Perhaps my semblance might deceive the truth, that I to manhood am arrived so near, and inward ripeness doth much less appear, that some more timely happy spirits endued. Yet be it less or more, or soon or slow, it shall be still in strictest measure even to that same lot, however mean or high, toward which time leads me and the will of heaven. All is, if I have grace to use it so, as ever in my great taskmaster's eye. Hope you made some sense out of this poem, and let me explain to you this poem. So the theme of the poem on his having arrived at the age of 23 was most likely written in 1632 at a crucial time in Milton's life, that is just after his graduation from Cambridge. That means he has attained the age of 23. Then Milton here is worried that time passes quickly and acknowledges that he may not seem as mature as some of his contemporaries, but expresses a desire to use his talents well and his trust in God's will for him over time. So, this time passing quickly is everybody's concern. Even I think all of us have this kind of worry at one or the other time of our life. When we look back and think, it appears that how quickly the time has fleeted, and whether we have achieved whatever we wanted to achieve or not. So same thing here, John Milton expresses when he has attained the age of 23, he feels the time has passed so quickly, and he may not seem as mature as some of his contemporaries. So he compares himself with his classmates or contemporaries, and thinks that he doesn't appear that matured as like his friends. And but finally he expresses a desire to use his talents well and his trust in God's will for him over the time. That means he is going to lay his life in the God's hands, and he wants to put his future in God's hands so that God will take care of everything he wants to achieve. This is the theme of the poem which we are going to discuss now. Now the first four lines. How soon hath time, the subtle thief of youth, stolen on his wing my 3 and 20th year. My hasting days fly on with full career, but my late spring no bud or blossom showeth. So, how soon hath time? Hath is an archaic form of telling has. So how soon has time? The subtle thief of youth. Subtle means here unnoticed. How does the thief enter into our homes? Like very cunningly, very secretly, stealthily the thief enter. In the same way, time has entered my life and it has stolen my youth. That is his worry here. He expresses his concern that time is fleeting very fast and it is robbing him, it is stealing him of his youth. And here he compares time to the bird and at the same time to the thief. So when he compares non-living things with living, it is called as personification. The figure of speech is personification. So we find here time being compared to bird and a subtle thief. Thief who enters in a very secret manner, in a cunning manner. Stolen on his wing my 3 and 20th year. 3 plus 20 becomes 23. So my 23 years of youth has been stolen by this time or by this bird called time. That is what he expresses. And my hasting days fly on with full career, but my late spring no bud or blossom showeth. Stolen is there, you find the contracted form of stolen, that bird has stolen. So here he says, hasting days fly on with full career. Career wise, I'm okay. I'm happy with my career, my studies and all. But my late spring, that means my present life, which has to have a bud or blossom. That means the fruits must have been there, but I think I'm a little bit delayed in having those buds and blossoms. Like they have not shown it, they are not being showed up. This is the concern. And these lines introduce the poem's theme and create a metaphor of time as a bird flying away with Milton's youth. So here time is compared. The comparison is a metaphor. It is declared as a bird or as a subtle thief. That is why it's the figure of speech is metaphor here. Here the poet expresses his sense of how quickly time passes. These phrases like hasting days and full career tells that he is really worried about the speed of the time. The poet here uses a seasonal metaphor to express that his time of life is a late spring, but that so far it has not shown any bud or blossom. In other words, any promise of fruit or achievements in his life. That means there is a delay. He feels that there could be a delay. Perhaps my semblance might deceive the truth, that I to manhood am arrived so near, and inward ripeness doth much less appear, that some more timely happy spirits endueth. Here he also doubts his appearance. Semblance means appearance, how he looks. So my perhaps is the phrase, word which always tells that there is a kind of debate, an argument, or a kind of doubt. So perhaps my semblance might deceive the truth that I to manhood am arrived so near. So manhood means uh, it actually his appearance, he feels that his appearance is deceiving the truth, that he has already physically is matured and mentally also he is matured, that and inward ripeness doth much less appear. Maybe I am not appearing that I am grown up or I have the knowledge, enough knowledge, like that some more timely happy spirits endureth. So here he says that manhood is there in me, but I am not appearing. My appearance is really deceiving the truth. And endueth means showing or provided with. How my contemporaries, like timely happy spirits, here it describes his own friends or the contemporaries. They appear, they show up like as if they are fully matured. Maybe I am not showing up, or I am, my appearance is not showing up like I am matured. So the poet remarks that he does not seem as old as he is. The truth that he is practically a man. So inward ripeness continues the natural metaphor of bud and blossom in line 4. The previous line we have seen bud and blossom. They denote the maturity. The poet has more maturity or ripeness inside than he shows outside, and more than some other young people. That means the more timely happy spirits have. They are happy because they are showing up in their body, in their physical appearance as well as mental appearance. But note the various possibilities in the word end with. The lines are grammatically inverted and could be paraphrased. If you go to the second line, that I to manhood am arrived so near, that means I am arrived to manhood so near. That already I am a man, I am a grown up man. These are the lines grammatically inverted. So these are the poetic lines, licenses the poets enjoy. They can change or they can invert the words and the phrases in whatever way they feel like, and could be paraphrased. And inward ripeness that imbues clothes some others. That means some others are wearing this kind of appearance. Imbues or clothes means they cover themselves with this kind of ripeness, or maybe this is less in me, this appears less in me. The phrase timely happy spirits can be understood to refer to those who are more comfortable with their age, or whose age reflects more happily their inner being. So he compares himself with others and he gets a doubt whether his appearance is really deceiving the truth that he is a grown up man. And the lines 9 to 12. Yet, be it less or more, or soon or slow, it shall be still in strictest measure even to that same lot, however mean or high, toward which time leads me and the will of heaven. So, yet be it less or more. Here it stands for to the appearance of inward ripeness. That means he is completely matured. So here he says, it shall be still in strictest measure, though I am not appearing that I am completely grown up, but that kind of growth or that kind of expanding the knowledge will be there in the strictest measure. That means in whatever, to whatever extent it is needed, it will be there to that same lot. Even the destiny is not, not cooperating, but it will be there to that same lot, however mean or high. Maybe that kind of maturity is less or more, or soon or slow, or mean or high. Mean means inferior. So whether it is inferior or superior, but it will be there to whatever extent it is needed, nor neither high nor low. To the exact measure, to the strictest measure, it will be there, toward which time leads me and the will of heaven. So as the will of heaven wants me, that kind of development will be definitely there. That means I am putting myself into the hands of God. So here, whether the ripeness appears less or more, now or later, it shall be just right according to his destiny. So the lot toward which time leads him. Here, lot means the destiny. So there are puns. Puns are the figures of speech. Pun means a single word depicting two different meanings. Here, measure is a pun here because it could mean a musical measure. That means a metric system which a poem has, a musical kind of element, or a line of verse. And here, even if you take the word even also, maybe an adjective modifying measure, like here, measure even. That means to whatever extent it should be there, that kind of development will be there, or may lead the reader into the next line, even to that same Lord. So this even can be taken to the third line, like even to that same lot, to the same destiny. So Milton often places adjectives both before and after nouns, and he likewise often lets the word at the end of a line work in two different ways in each line, like measure even, or even to that same lot. So what does the poet mean here? Whether the development or whether the maturity is more or less, or now or later, it will be there because I have faith in God. But in general, they suggest that whatever the outcome of the speaker's life, it will be with God's knowledge and in accordance with his world. The great taskmaster here is God. So Milton is referring God as a great taskmaster. So every one of us, we can just relate this poem to even our lives also to the greater extent. If you look at this poem, I told you it's a 14-line poem which is called as a sonnet. At the same time, when you take the entire theme of the poem, where the octave found dissonance between his inner and outward states of maturity. So octave, what does octave mean? Octave means the 8 lines of the poem. So these 8 lines of the poem, they found dissonance between his inner and outward states of maturity. There is a kind of contradiction. Actually, he knows that he is matured enough. At the same time, he is doubtful of his appearance. Maybe he's feeble looking or he is looking skinny. So he thinks that his appearance doesn't match. But at the same time, the sestet is again the 6 lines of the poem are called sestets, gives the answer to his dilemma. So answer is that time and the will of heaven will even things out according to the plan. Even means set out the things. So God, heaven and the time, both of these things will elements will definitely take care of the plans. According to the plan, my life will go on. So here what happens, the time and will of the God will set out the things right according to God's plan. So he totally believes that the God will take care of him. So in the at the beginning, there was a crisis of faith. He was doubtful and he was kind of blaming the time. The time is fleeting and I have not done what I have to do. I have not achieved what I'm supposed to do. But finally, he finds the answer to his problem in giving control over his life to God. So totally he places himself into the hands of the God. Okay, that was the discussion on the poem On His Having Arrived at the Age of 23, written by John Milton. And in the next video, I'm going to discuss the comprehension questions based upon this poem. And the link is provided in the description box. Don't miss it. And please do check it. Bye bye. Take care. See you in the next video.